So, when we last left off, we were exploring the interior of the sheriff's. And as we looked through the sheriff office looking for keys to the city and possible clues as to what's really going on in Cape Karma, we found something interesting and unexpected. And you know what? Let's show that to our players here. We found on the sheriff's desk a bunch of fingerprint cards, and one of them had the name of the person being fingerprinted circled in red marker, and that appears to be Jet Adler. Jet, do you, off the top of your head, do you remember like a field trip here with Pastor Willis's class to get your paw prints taken?
Bit more than that. The paw pad. I was not ready for the paw pad. It's very goofy.
All right.
I had to look at the art and count how many fingers you had.
Class of 95. How old are you?
Wait, is this modern year? What year is this?
This is the year of our Lord 2023.
Wow.
Unfortunate. But this is definitely all the kids Pastor Willis had in his class in the year of 95, not necessarily graduating year of 95. Right? Yeah, it's 95. Because right. it was definitely a smaller all ages kind of school.
I do the timeline math now. I'm like, is Jet just my age?
Jet was graduating from the womb.
I think I was being like fascistly fingerprinted by our school system when I was 5.
I definitely remember doing that like on a field trip to a museum as a kid. There's like, oh, it's a forensics class. You get to learn about forensics, and there's actual police here taking fingerprints for some reason.
They didn't bother theming it for me. They just did it on campus. They just fingerprinted us. Seems dubious.
Did they at least bring in Darren the Dare Lion to make you know it'll be okay?
They just shepherded us into a tiny little shitty office and just had us fingerprint for some reason. And as 5-year-olds, we're like, we don't grasp what's happening here. This is kind of upsetting to think back on.
I just have a question for clarity here really quick. Do we remember who exactly was reading this? I think I was looking for documents to read, but I don't remember if I was the person that found this document or if Jet was the person that found the document.
I think I remember you saying that you were excitedly like bolting over there as soon as you saw there was like something interactable and readable in the terms of like documents and lore.
Right, gotcha. So I probably haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, I think I need to clarify for the classroom. I don't think we know Jet's name yet. At least
that's
I
very
don't think
possible.
He introduced himself. So I think what Sandals is gonna do is just pick up this card and, you know, he's gonna be studying it. He's gonna look at the date and he's gonna say, yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't think these are really admissible anymore. If they were taken in 1995, your fingerprint should change roughly every, I don't know, 13 to 14 years. So I'm not sure exactly how accurate these will be anymore. Plus, you know, scars and stuff like that notwithstanding, but whoever this Jet Adler is, I guess they have his stuff on file.
What did you just say?
Well, I mean, the fingerprints on the card, over time, your skin cells are gonna shift and change.
Just shoving him aside.
Hey, what's going on? What did I do?
Jet is just staring at this stupid card that should not be here. God damn it, Jet, you are down bad for the wrong fucking tiger. This is not theirs.
I just opened the clues and found something I don't think I was supposed to find.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything that you're supposed to see is all available to you.
Oh my god. I won't interrupt. Carry on.
This is not theirs for content. It's not for them. Jet is not particularly invested in the puzzle.
What do you mean? I mean, if this is another one of those, escape rooms or whatever, clearly they're putting stuff here. Are you saying this isn't like a puzzle? Isn't that the whole point of the con?
Fuck if I know. This is me.
Great. Wait, what?
Stupid goddamn YouTubers. Why do we even do this? When you're on a team, you try to make yourself useful. You try to be of help. And so I let it slip. There was this ghost town that I used to be in. Motherfucker uses it for content.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a ghost town. There's no one here.
This isn't a story. This is my life.
I mean, as of right now, it's just a fingerprint card. I mean, is it really that much of your life?
Jed is walking
It's
away
not even
from
admissible
Sandals.
in court.
Do you want to take that with him or leave it here? Maybe that's part of the puzzle. Maybe it's supposed to be here. Who knows?
I think it's just I think he's stuck with this for the moment.
Gotcha.
Gonna shakily light another one.
Boys running through them.
He's got a cigarette box of holding.
Capacity, yes.
So I guess we should look for more stuff in the room. Am I gonna find anything if I just start rifling through drawers?
Yeah. So when you start rifling through the drawers, let me look. Your urban exploration allows you to find signs of force entry on one of the drawers of the sheriff's desk that looks like it's supposed to be locked. You see the telltale scraping and marks that it has been lockpicked, and it looks like fresh marks.
Oh. Hey guys, there's a drawer over here that I think someone broke into. If I try opening it, then I'm guessing it just slides right open because it's already been broken into.
It slides right open, and it appears to be empty, save for some holes and like an imprint that dust has gathered around. It looks like there was some kind of star-shaped object that was bolted in place here, or screwed in place with little holes going through the bottom of the drawer, that has been removed.
Like a badge?
Yeah. Or a ship.
Or a
So what are you guys thinking? Like, did someone try to sabotage this thing like we just did over at the, with the car and that clue? I think, something's missing here. I don't know if this is something we need to find and put in here, or if this is like, someone's already got the thing we need.
I'd say chances are pretty good it's the thing you're supposed to touch your phone to. Maybe they hit it like we did.
That is a possibility. The clue for this place is that not even the sheriff would last to the morrow. Is there a calendar or anything around? I don't know. I'm desperate here.
You do find a very old-looking calendar on the wall. It appears to be from 1995.
I think Sandals wants to. Let me check this. I think he's giving Jet a pretty wide berth right now. Clearly not wanting to frustrating him anymore. He's probably thinks he's a little huffy about it. Is there a date on the fingerprint card? It just says class of 95, right?
Yeah, it just says class of 95. It does not say a particular date or time.
Gotcha. What is the rest of the stuff on the table? The rest of this paperwork? Is it just flavor or?
It looks like additional fingerprint cards for what are presumably other students in that class. But this is the only one that appears to have been set aside and had marking with this red marker on it.
Meanwhile, Manifesto is just smearing his phone against the calendar.
You are not getting any phone response from the calendar, unfortunately. You do notice that the fifth box of the month is a Saturday that is marked off.
Fifth Saturday.
I'm gonna check the pen. Like, this is gonna sound silly, but Sandals is gonna take the cap off the pen and dab it on the back of his hand to see if the pen was recently is still recently used, if it's a new thing or if it's a dried out old ink marker from 1995, because he wants to see if the circle on the thing is new or not.
It is definitely fresh. It is wet. Unfortunately, it does not have that brilliant cherry smell like those classroom marker sets that everyone loved to huff.
All right. I think Sandals is gonna go inspect the desk really quickly, check where it was pried open. It seems like to him that we walked into an actual scene of something. And I think he is no longer thinking about the game at this point and is now trying to understand, if this person was in here to grab something that was in here, what is its use and why did he circle this thing?
Very good questions. Let's see. I'd say using notice, you do notice that the drawer that was apparently lockpicked is the fifth all the way to the right on the desk, just like the box that is marked off on the calendar. So it is likely the calendar was a clue pointing to that portion of the desk.
Gotcha.
So the floor looks a bit dusty. Would there be any noticeable footprints in the floorboards?
Absolutely. What do you have relevant to that? Let's take a look at your skills.
Flirting.
Flirt with the floor.
That was my junior prom experience.
Oh, gotcha. I'd say if you want to spend a point of interfacing, getting down and getting intimate with the floor, I'll give you some more information.
Certainly, I'll go ahead and do that.
All right.
All right, let me spend that.
Okay, so walk me through your process here. How are you getting frisky with the floor to try and find its secrets? Tell me all about that.
Well, Manifesto's going to get low on that teak wood. He's going to be searching around that desk, making sure he can kind of identify the group's various feet and their footprints, and hopefully no one's been shuffling around too much like Javier is. But he would be trying to look around to see if there were any other footprints that don't match any of the groups.
All right, excellent. And actually, the student fingerprint cards are kind of a good reference for that, for picking out species. You actually do notice there appear to be two sets of prints in here that do not belong to your group. Neither of them are shoed. They are barefoot. One, in fact, does appear to be a bear, and the other one is longer in the digits and much smaller. It appears to be a simian of some kind.
Oh, okay. Potentially it's Sandals' big old bear friend. Maybe has beaten us to this location.
Yeah. I think Sandals just has his arms crossed. He's just looking at it with Manifesto. And I think he's come to the same unhappy conclusion about that.
Maybe we should keep an eye out for that bear person and whoever he may be with.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
So do you guys think we should, if we run into him, someone should pull him aside for a conversation and kind of sneakily, rub our phones near him in case it's in his pocket?
I know a variety of submission moves. It'll be quite fine.
I'm just imagining you go in for a hug with the phone in hand and just wiping it all over his back.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that.
Listen, I know Iceberg. He's an asshole, but he's an observant asshole. If he's up to something, we have two things to worry about. The first thing is, it will be kind of difficult to pull the wool over his eyes, as much as I loathe to admit it. And the second thing is, it means he has a plan, and he's pretty good about chasing leads.
Someone's an asshole, then is pulling the wool over their eyes, the fruit of the loom.
It was very funny, Jet. Good joke.
Jet never is funny. It's never Jet.
Incapable.
This is the first words he's spoken in 2 hours.
Does Sandals have Iceberg's number? And or are they like Twitter mutuals? I would assume that if they follow each other, it's like the begrudging hate follow thing.
You do have, I'd say you are Twitter mutuals, but you also have his old Skype that nobody uses anymore. If you still have Skype installed on your phone, and by some off chance he still does also, you might be able to contact him.
Cursed.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for sure Sandals does have Skype on his phone because he's probably calling people to do like, video interviews.
Mhm.
And I don't think everyone had Zoom, at the start of his channel, so he probably still has Skype installed. I don't think he is going to call Iceberg right now, but I think instead Sandals is going to message one of his contacts and say, has Iceberg said anything about the sheriff's office?
All right. I'll let that simmer for a bit before your contact gets back to you.
Mm-hmm. This is the contact that I mentioned is still hanging around in the circles that Sandals has maybe not hung around in.
Yeah.
So this whole place is dusty. Would we be able to see possibly some of these footprints outside in the dust and the dirt of the town?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
Could
we're
try-
taking a quick look.
Yeah. Might be able to track where they went after they left here.
Okay. So, Manifesto's still keeping low, and following those little dusty little toesies out the front and or back door to where this little star could have possibly have been stored.
All right. It looks like both sets of tracks just go out back into the town proper, and from there they would converge with all the other tracks of people walking around and would be difficult to spot. So it's likely wherever they went immediately after doing the deed here, they did not stop to stash something on the exterior of this
That's
building.
what I was wondering about. Okay. All right, so Manifesto would share this information with the group. I don't know if they're just chatting around or staring at Jet's little weird little Easter egg on the table, but he would let them know what's going on.
All right.
I think Sandals is just like, maybe as we're walking or whatever, as what's going on is going on, he's gonna just turn to Jet and ask, why would Iceberg circle your name?
I don't know who Iceberg is.
And then he's just gonna like walk out the door. That tells him, I think, a lot of information, and he's just processing it. So he's gonna walk out the door and not even comment on it.
I think Javier's gonna follow Sandals out the door because I want to get Sandals' attention. So, Sandals, what's the deal with this guy? Like, what do you think we should do? Are we trying to steer clear of him? Do you think if we spot him, maybe one of us or a couple of us could try following him? Like, is there a game plan?
Listen,
I'm pretty confident in my abilities to sneak around. So, I mean, if we find him, like, we can see what he's up to.
I think there's nothing more in this world, trust me, that I want than to tell that asshole to fuck off and ruin this entire game for him. This guy has been a thorn in my side for years, and he is not nice, which is pretty much the primary problem here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd like to see that happen, actually. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, he's a dick. But the thing is that he's a very vindictive dick. And if we do anything to him, I am very worried that he will make the rest of this game very hard for us. So
Gotcha.
the thing we need to do is make sure whatever we're planning will actually come to fruition. Now, I have been playing basically a game with this guy for at least going on 8 years now. And he's good at what he does. He is incredibly shrewd, he's incredibly observant, and he will chase a lead very persistently. And I think the best thing we can do is either try to steal that out from under him, or at least see what he's sniffing out. And the thing here is, sure, maybe we get the star from him if that was the clue, the sheriff's badge. Maybe we pickpocket it off him while I'm having a conversation with him. I'm pretty good at riling him up. But the moment, and I'm serious about this, the moment he realizes it's missing, that's game on, because he will know it was us. And granted, we all play a little dirty, sure. Keep things close to the chest, save things for nationals. That's just the way the sport is played. But I am more concerned about whoever he was with. Because if Jet doesn't know Iceberg, then the only concern I have there is for what reason Iceberg knows Jet. And for what reason in people he's associating with that might also know Jet. Now, this is getting in the weeds, but Iceberg covers a lot of genuinely unsavory content, all right? He does true crime. He pivoted away from the stuff that I cover, which is mostly games and fiction and stories.
At this point, Javier's nodding, but is just kind of like half paying attention to these details because he's just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
but I'm doing it with a smile on my face to not look like
yeah. He is not unwilling to drag up stuff that people would find unpleasant. And so I think there is a concern here that whatever Iceberg is digging into is probably not gonna look great or be the kind of thing that someone like Jet might want out in the open. So whatever we have to do, we should probably do it before he can get a lead there. Because if he doesn't, then that's just airing someone else's dirty laundry.
Okay, well, if we run into him, we can formulate a plan. I'm down to try to follow him. I'm down to try to pick his pockets while you talk to him. So, yeah. Just letting you know, I'm game to see what this guy's up to. Try to figure it out.
I think following him is a pretty good idea, but whatever the fuck he's doing, he's also just playing the game. So we can't waste, too much time just chasing him and going in his footsteps. We still have to play as well. I think the best way for us to catch up with him is to meet him basically at the end and have more medals than him, because then he'll have to confront us. So whatever we can do to get to that point will be good for us.
Okay, I guess we'll have to play it by ear. So at this point, I guess Javier would probably just kind of step back inside and try to just ask everyone, so, what are we doing here? Do we think we're done here? Are we trying to go to another location? Are we trying to look for more stuff here?
Another location sounds wise, but Grayson, what is your safety official perspective on this situation?
I mean, I definitely don't think that there's a safety hazard here. This is clearly the nicest building that we've been in other than the shop. But I definitely don't think that there is anything else here. It's
Well,
clearly
another
gone.
player taking and holding on to a key item, that could be a source of physical conflict, and maybe that might not be good for liability reasons. And I know you hold some power as someone as part of the event. Maybe you could exert that at a key time.
You know, the actions of the players are definitely something that they would have taken into account.
Yes, especially if people start getting a little rough and, getting physical. That could present a liability, Mr. Man, and we don't want that.
You know,
Manifesto's just flexing, as you said.
they did invite you, Manifesto, and you're clearly a very capable athlete. Take into account that physical violence among creators would be possible. So I'm sure the event is covered from a liability standpoint. Your safety, maybe not so much, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'm sure if we speak to this lettuce, he will come to some sort of amicable agreement.
Lettuce. That's good. Okay, but yes, I do think that we should move on.
Yes, lettuce.
Now, Mr. Map Man, pull up the map. Thank you.
Where are we gonna find that salad?
We're gonna toss his salad once and for all.
Oh. Oh no.
Okay, so a general sense of malaise, that should be crossed off, right? We already went to the general store.
Mm-hmm.
We first heard the whispers. They came from the spire. Is it premature to head to the lighthouse?
You can head to the lighthouse anytime you want.
Because that's a spire. And
How far away is the lighthouse, like walking? Because this is a desert at night. So I
It
want
is.
to be clear.
This is a desert at night. Thankfully, the lighthouse is fairly well illuminated. It looks like it's maybe a couple 100 feet outside of town. There's like a rocky ridge that ascends up to where the lighthouse is seated above the dried lake bed, where there used to be a salt lake here.
And we could keep an eye out for Mr. Romaine on the way there.
I mean, if we don't have any other leads to chase, we may as well, but it did seem like he was going back to town. So if anything, I mean, maybe no one else has gone there yet.
What would say you, Jet? Your clues and names were all over the previous location, so maybe you have some insight here or a wise-cracking remark.
Huh? Yeah, sure. He has not been paying attention. He's been mind racing furious for the last 10 minutes.
So just the cameraman, what is he even aiming the camera at anymore?
Cardinal direction. An approximation of his job.
Interesting.
So looking at the clues, we have the mayor's new hobby kept him too busy to notice. The idea here is that it would be a hobby. Where can we determine from that? I think out of all of the hobbies, whatever the roller barn is, I'm assuming a roller skating rink. I have no idea. Either that or it's Madame Anne's boudoir, in the sense that he was taking in the pleasures of the flesh, I assume? And that's pretty close to us, both of those locations. So
The boudoir could also be
Sinners related?
sinners, yeah.
mm-hmm.
I would assume that the throat lodge sounds a bit more sexual and sinny. But-
Sandals just nods. I didn't consider that.
Yeah. Swoop on in to get your throat lodged.
That was my nickname in high school.
Oh no.
There's also, there's like, let's read the hints really quickly. The mayor's new hobby kept him too busy to notice. So the puzzle there is what the mayor's hobby is. We first heard the whispers that danced on the wire. That would be someplace possibly with a telegram in it.
Good.
There is a telegraph office, right?
Yes, telegraph, not telegram. So there is that. They grew louder as if cast from a spire. Maybe that's the Throat Lodge. Maybe that's the lighthouse. The idea there is either whether or not it's them growing louder or if it's the spire we should be paying attention to. Last call never came for those drowning their sorrow. The drowning their sorrow is probably the sinkhole. Yeah, which I assume to be...
Absolutely. It's got to be a bar.
Exactly. Not even the sheriff would last to the morrow. Obviously, the sheriff's place. And then as we finally got what all the sinners deserve, I can't piece together what exactly that means. Maybe a shave and a haircut? I'm not sure.
2 bits.
In the Sweeney Todd, sense of the term. So, those are our bets. Telegraph office, sinkhole. Honestly, the boudoir, it seems like it would be a scripted event. And then same with the Throat Lodge. We don't really have anything that would go there.
Sin.
So, yes, other than sin. Thank you, Manifesto.
You're welcome.
Very insightful. I think Sandals is flabbergasted at that comment. Just stops talking.
Oh, we found the shutdown button.
Wonderful. Well, if we don't want to walk through the whole town, we can go nearby to maybe the telegraph office, because that sounds most approximate to the wire.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm game.
Let's do it.
All right. Manifesto starts strutting his way, shoulders popping from side to side, walking to the telegraph office, keeping an eye out for if there are any big bear fellows walking around.
Yeah. Is my notice still active from the last session, Ka, where I was specifically looking for Iceberg as we were walking around town?
Yeah, I'll say you don't see any signs of him walking around town. In fact, you're not seeing anybody as you're walking around town. Before you were seeing like a couple distant silhouettes here and there, but it seems to be creepily vacant now. All right. So, entering into the telegraph office, it looks of very similar construction to the sheriff's office, but less well kept. It seems like this was probably abandoned and left to ruin long before the sheriff's office was. Inside, you see several desks set up, several lights that are on across these desks. And as you walk inside, one of the telegraph machines begins to click.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, does it look like we're the first people here? Do you see any signs of previous entries? Any 5-hour energy bottles just laying around?
You don't see anything discarded, no signs of forced entry, but there are definitely just a mix of footprints on the floor. Those could be from other contestants, those could be from the setup.
Okay. Well, I suppose we may as well look at what that telegraph is spitting out.
All right. The telegraph appears to be clicking its stopper to a rhythmic tapping with pauses and breaks occasionally.
Is there any chance, do you think like via trivia, Javier would possibly know Morse code? Is that
if you want to give me a trivia spend, yes.
Or Google.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give a trivia.
All right.
Yep.
You manage to recall what you know about Morse code, and if you get pen and paper, you could transcribe that really easily.
Oh, sure. Does anyone have pen? Grayson,
Yeah.
do you have a pen?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Reach into my pocket and pull out 4 of them.
Cool.
They're
Yeah,
weird.
I saw
You
you
can use my clipboard.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
I just asked Grayson to, like, edit one of his papers. I just, like, flip it to the backside and just start writing on the back of it, I guess.
Yep, no
All right.
problem.
So, decoding the Morse code coming in through the telegraph, it sounds like it is one sentence being repeated. False bottom, 20 boards from door.
Oh.
Great. So I guess at this point I just start counting away from the door, and I try jiggling the board to see what happens.
Okay. Jiggling the board 20 from the door doesn't appear to do anything, but you do notice that there is a nearby desk with a drawer positioned directly above the 20th floorboard.
Okay. I can go ahead and try to open this drawer.
Okay. You open the drawer and you find nothing inside, though it did mention a false bottom.
I can't.
How appropriate.
I don't know, they can't be talking about me.
All I can think about is like, at the throat lodge, beware the false bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just try to, like, push the drawer up from the bottom, or I try to see if I can lift up, like, kind of peel out the corners of the drawer, see if it lifts up.
You manage to lift it up and you find what looks like an old VHS stuffed down in there. Let's make that visible.
Oh.
Whispers.
Whoa, what is this? I don't think
This box art is
before.
amazing.
This is incredible.
This
oh
is
my god.
The 1992 Canadian production Whispers.
This is
Dean Koontz.
This is the most toaster core thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
This rules.
This is... Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember I wanted to see this movie, but my local video rental store, like their copy had been stolen, so... Okay, do you guys like watch this, or there's just the box art itself probably has some clues? Let's see if we can figure it out.
Have you tried touching your phone to it?
No, but I just go ahead and do that now, based on your suggestion.
You get a push notification. This is the key to the city.
Oh, all right.
Oh, well
Sick.
done.
Thanks, Grayson. Needed some help with the final step there.
Is this an actual... Is there an actual VHS in here, or is it just like a facade?
There is an actual VHS in there. And if you pull it out, the label's pretty like faded and a little worn, but it looks like it's actually the Dean Koontz adaptation Whispers.
Huh.
Dean R. Koontz.
I need to know who did this art. I need to get them to... This is incredible.
These are real pictures, friend. I don't know what you're
These
talking
are
about.
pictures.
Yeah.
The graphic design on this is just fantastic.
I mean,
I'm a
that
big
top,
fan.
the picture on the top of the back looks distressingly like Nightmare and Dream.
I love the tagline: "Fear shouts, terror whispers." I'm gonna use that in the ring.
The guy down here at the bottom looks like Scoot. Hey Scoot, this is our Scoot cameo.
Oh, Scoot. Oh, I know him.
Sure, he's so psyched that he's the murderer or whatever.
And looking at the app, you're now realizing, oh yeah, it's the Whispers that danced on the wire.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Where to now, guys?
Right.
Well,
So we have the lighthouse. It's an option. We have the throat lodge. If we want to get all sinny.
You want to get Cinny? You want to go to the Sin bin?
I'm down.
Grayson, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know that the throat lodge is actually, sin, but
Let's just get it over with.
let's just
Let's get through all these buildings.
I'm in full agreement. Let's
I
do
didn't
it.
know if you needed to text your wife for permission first, but we can head there now.
It's a responsible thing to do.
Oh yeah, if you have that kind of
Manifesto.
relationship, that's okay.
Manifesto, are we gonna have a problem? do you have a problem with me?
I respect your position. I don't have a problem at all with you, bro. You're a valuable asset to our team. You just don't know it yet, and I see that light in you, and I want you to feel that light too. I want you to manifest what you can be as part of this group.
Manifesto lost his belt to a safety technician. which is worse than losing your wife, apparently.
She's not lost. I don't know what you're talking about. She's just having fun with a friend in New Mexico. She'll be back.
Did she go to the store for smokes?
Maybe. Let's go to the Throat Lodge. We're walking to the Throat Lodge and looking for a bear.
All right.
Mr. Romaine.
Just very quickly changing the subject, clearly.
All right. So you head over to the Throat Lodge, and outside of it...
Is a family of beavers the army of the damned?
All right. Arriving at the Throat Lodge, you actually see one of the staff members that you've seen around town. He appears to be like locking the front door, and he turns and sees you. Oh, this one's not open yet. We're still resetting it.
Manifesto immediately looks at his feet.
He has beaver feet. They are slightly webbed.
So they do not match anything. The other pair that we saw.
No, they're probably about the size of Iceberg's feet, but not the same shape. They're very telltale.
Telltale.
He also kind of like slaps his tail on the ground when he walks sometimes, so that gives him a very distinct trail that other people don't tend to have.
After giving a big scrupulous overlooking of his footsies, he gives a nod to the rest of the group and a thumbs up. He's good.
Okay, good. I was just about to tell you, it's not polite to stare at his feet.
Hey, you can stare all you want. My ex-wife loved to stare at my feet.
Is that why you're here? Is that your talent?
Well, I think I must be on the Foot Wiki because they caught my shot in Troll 2, one of the deleted scenes.
I think Sandals goes, he used to work at Troma.
Oh yeah, this kid knows his stuff on that one there.
Well, that's unfortunate. We need to get inside.
Oh, it's closed. You'll get paged by the little Mr. Man when this one's ready for you on.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
These are good ones though. I rigged them up with explosives and shit. You're gonna love it.
Explosives?
Explosives?
Yeah. That was on the briefing sheet for the safety orientation, right? It absolutely was
obviously,
not.
you should explain more about what those will do and how those will play out to the safety coordinator over here.
You caught me gabbing again. I know I shouldn't be doing that.
There was the safety sheet was surprisingly absent of all details.
They gave you one of those like anything can happen and we're not responsible kind of things, right? Yeah, I think they just brought you on here for insurance purposes. They probably don't want you actually putting your nose where it don't belong, but whatever. I got paid up front, so I don't give a crap.
Are you going to take that from him, Grayson?
Yeah, if I'm here, I'm gonna do my job, even if I can only do it one building at a time.
Yeah, good on you.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to wait in order to come in here. What's next?
Grayson just wants to slowly caution tape the entire town.
Okay.
And mummify all the buildings, no one can get hurt.
How are the unjacketed characters doing? Are they hanging on? It's not too miserable for them yet?
So I think it's getting down into the lower 50s, which is definitely you want a jacket weather, especially with the lack of humidity out here in the desert.
Any wind is going to be real cold.
Although I say lack of humidity, but there's an unprecedented level of fog rolling in.
I think burning a rage is good for about 10 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can't get in here, and if Grayson isn't gonna try to pressure Kurgan here to give us more information, then I mean, we may as well just try to head somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Jet's angry enough. He's got that rage in him. That's exactly what I was thinking. And then Manifesto is just way too determined. He's not bothered by the cold. He doesn't care.
So he's doing active exercises, push-ups,
Just stay warm.
squats, crunches, keeping the body heat up, keeping the form in shape. But before the fog rolls in, it might be a good idea to get to the lighthouse so we can get kind of a lay of the land if we are going to venture forth.
It will give us a pretty good view of the town, and at least it will tell us, we'll be able to see how far out the fog goes.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a walk, but might as well do it.
I mean, if anything, it just means we have more chances to run into people as we walk through town.
Walking in circles in the tall grass trying to trigger random encounters.
All right, on to the lighthouse then.
Yes.
So you approach the lighthouse, you find that the fog actually seems particularly thick here. The lighthouse does seem to be active, its lights strobing around and rotating in a circle. You are catching occasional glimpses of it in town. It felt like it almost spotlighted you, like the sun sniping you from miles away. But it's just doing its own thing out here. You're not sure why it's on. Even if there did used to be a lake here, there definitely wasn't any boat travel on it.
Just immediately upon looking at it from this distance, Javier's, he's usually pretty comfortable exploring abandoned places and doesn't get creeped out too easily. He likes the creepy aesthetic. This is definitely making his hair stand up, so he's just feeling a little nervous about this place.
And as you approach, you do see the silhouette of someone here that you do recognize. It looks like it's Miss Potatoes, who gave you the event coordinator speech after Mr. Mann speech up on the assembly stage. She doesn't appear to have noticed you. She is approaching the lighthouse and quickly disappears out of view behind it.
Grayson, wasn't that your boss?
I mean, I'm contracted to this event, sorta.
I mean, that sounds like she's your boss.
Why is she here? Why? I don't understand why there's a lighthouse here. This whole thing seems really weird. And why is she here?
Well, the lighthouse was here a long time ago. I mean, they put it up on the lake as like a tourist thing. I don't know much more than that. That's just what I was able to find on the internet looking, but...
How big was the lake? Like a couple hundred yards across?
I mean, it was pretty big. It's just, I mean, this is, at one point, it's, I mean, if you just look out, and I presume we can see the desert expanse behind the lighthouse.
Yep.
I assume. Fog, right?
And Sandals, with your cryptozoology investigative ability, you do recall there were a lot of internet rumors going that when the lake dried up, hundreds of bodies were found because it was being used as a dumping ground for the mob.
Yeah. Sandals is not going to express that. He's going to show discretion for the first time in this entire campaign. And he's going to say, yeah, it's, well, it was a pretty big lake, and it was pretty quiet, aside from the lighthouse, which obviously had some tourism, but I don't know how many people really went out here on boats. I don't think it was really a boating lake, but now the whole area is just kind of a dried out lake bed. I mean, in a sense, it was a man-made lake, essentially, in terms of tourism, so maybe Jet could tell us more about that. I don't want to poke that bear, though.
Jet is not a bear.
I think bear is the wrong word to use right about now.
Jet's actually coming out of his haze here because he's clocking what's happening a bit, and he's like, all right, hey, guys, where are we going?
I guess we're going into the lighthouse?
Yeah, we might as well follow her in there. I mean, maybe she has something to do with the next event, or, you know.
Why would there be a lighthouse in... What place is called?
Cape Karma.
Cape Karma. I'm great
Was
at
it
this.
not here when you were here, Jet?
So we're in the middle of the desert. Why would there be
Yeah.
a lighthouse in the middle of the desert?
We were
just-
just discussing that.
I don't
Sandals
think
is
that's
so
quite how
irritated.
plate tectonics works.
Well, no, I don't think it has anything to do with plate tectonics. I mean, if you look around, as far as I know, this was a big, essentially reservoir of water. A lighthouse was stationed here as an attempt to bring tourists to the area in. And Sandals just kind of like shrugs. He's like the 50s or 60s. You're the one that apparently lived here, Jet. You should have known, because it's been here allegedly the whole time you were growing up. At least that's what the internet says.
I know Cape Karma like the back of my hand, and there is not a lighthouse in this town.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So with my familiar, like I was scouting this place out, for my urban exploration.
Yep.
And so I've seen some pictures of the place. Did I ever encounter any actual pictures of the lighthouse online?
You found like blurry Bigfoot style, not sure if they're real pictures, but nothing as verifiable as what is in front of you right now.
Huh.
Sandals did notice that it wasn't on Google Maps earlier, and I think just right now he's just gonna be like, I just assumed that they took it down, but you're saying that it never was here?
There was a lighthouse in this town. Don't you think we would see it?
What?
Excuse me?
A
So at this
lighthouse.
point-
It's kind of a tall building. It stands out.
And you don't see it right now.
Of course there's not a lighthouse here.
What
Okay, so
do
at
you
this
What do you see?
I see the desert, which you're all just wandering off into, and if you guys get lost out here, that's my ass.
So at this point, Javier is just kind of like very confused, but remembers that he's only seen blurry pictures of it online, and he's got the camera with him. So he takes a picture of the lighthouse and looks at the viewfinder, or whatever you call it. Looks at the picture he took. Is there anything weird with the picture?
Inside the picture, you see dozens of lights, like almost dancing around the lighthouse, like fireflies being attracted to a lantern.
Manifesto
Jet, let me ask
also
you
is
something.
live streaming, so he would ask his 3 or 4 Twitch viewers, essentially, do you guys in the chat here, in our chat window, do you guys see anything here?
They're all telling you to suplex it.
Suplex it. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, chat. I love you.
Jet, did you see Miss Potatoes here just now? Where did she go from your perspective?
Yeah, did she just vanish?
You saw her out here?
She was just here. She just walked up and behind the lighthouse.
Okay, so now we're just making things up for fun, huh?
Okay.
So at this point, I feel like Javier should do a stability roll, just because he is genuinely like freaked out by the creepy pictures he's getting.
Go for it.
He's taking multiple pictures. They're all
I
coming
like
out
that.
up.
Yeah.
He can't figure it out.
All right.
Oh!
You're gonna take 1 stability damage. You're a little freaked out by this. You're definitely picking things up on the camera that aren't there. Either
Yeah.
that, or you're seeing things that
I kind of just like
aren't
point
there.
at the camera without like being able to verbalize what's weird, and I don't know if anyone else in the group like even notices or are just kind of like left a little speechless.
Well, Manifesto is all aboard getting that brand new Tesla with the NordVPN logo on the side.
Is that the one he's picked out?
Yes. So he would take hold of Javier's shoulder as he's having his little. He's starting letting it set in. He's going to try to snap him out of it here, and he's going to be like, Javier, you are small and you are soft, and you know this area. Perhaps maybe you could follow Mrs. Potatoes, or Ms. Potatoes. I do not know her marital status. See what she is up to.
Sure. You think you can lead the way?
But you could do it quietly, you know? Just like you little sneaky sneak man. You know?
Okay. So should I roll for infiltration or...
Yeah.
How does that... Which is the better of the two for sneaking up on someone?
For sneaking up on someone, infiltration, definitely. Hiding is typically staying put.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, you have so much infiltration.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna... I don't want to mess it up. I'm gonna... Is that how to do simple spend? 3? Hopefully that worked correctly.
Okay. So, roll a d6.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so that's a total of
nice.
8. Oh my god, that is incredibly stealthy. This rat just disappears.
Despite being panicked, I somehow like go into like infiltration mode. I pull myself together for a moment.
You work better under pressure. Alright, so you managed to sneak up to the lighthouse and very quickly tail behind Miss Potato. And you don't see any sign of her here. And with that roll, you also immediately realize there doesn't appear to be an entrance to the lighthouse.
Huh. So I think at this point, I start tapping I just start walking in a circle, tapping the walls. Like basically I've lost my mind for a second and I'm looking for an illusory wall.
Unfortunately, you don't find any illusory wall. Whatever you're tapping with seems to knock solidly against the walls. You do notice some windows further up the lighthouse that you could ostensibly climb to. You're not sure if you could like force your way into them, or if you climb to the very top, you could definitely get in from there. But it doesn't look like from the ground level there's any way into this lighthouse, which is disconcerting.
Oh boy. I think if I was gonna attempt to climb, I could put a point of athletics into that, I guess. With my
Sure.
one and only point I have.
You could.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Let me go for that.
And give me that d6. All right, that's a 4. That is successful. It's not particularly quick. It'll take you a few minutes of finding the proper handholds, analyzing the brick and mortar work of this lighthouse, but you do slowly begin to ascend up it.
Okay, and while I'm doing this, though, and I have to be perfectly honest, and I don't know what's driving me to do this. I'm just sort of... I feel like the place might be haunted. And I'm not someone who believes in ghosts, so this is like really fucking with my head really badly right now. Because my character is actually afraid of heights. So I don't know why I'm forcing myself to climb up. But I feel like I have to roll for stability while I'm doing this as well.
I agree.
Manifesto cheering you on. He's there for support.
Are you doing this at an angle where the others observe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I circled back around to... It's the windows you can see like straight up from the steps there. Those are the ones that I'm climbing up towards, so...
I have reassurance as an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Do I spend that if I try to use it right now?
What do you want to do with it?
I mean, so one of the sample benefits of reassurance is like instill a sense of calm during a crisis or allay fear and panic in others. It can also boost stability. This seems like a good case to use it, but I think ultimately, like, Sandals is very curious about this, so I think he would just be saying, like, you know, maybe he's following. At this point, Javier's up there, he sees him climbing, he's probably walking close up to there, and maybe he's trying to communicate to him, like, hey man, like, this is a real puzzle. Like, whatever we can find out about this is probably really worth the risk.
All right, I like that a lot, and I will say because of that reassurance, go ahead and spend the point for it. You do pass that stability test. Otherwise, you would have failed, and I would have given you another athletics check to make sure you don't.
Oh.
Thank God. So I guess I'd make it up into that first window, I'm guessing?
Yep, you make it up into the first window, and peering inside the window, you expect to see like the spiral corridor of the interior staircase of the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, it's difficult to describe what you're seeing. It almost looks like the universe. You see a black cosmos full of countless pinpricks of light. But unlike when you're looking up at the stars at night in an unlit place like this, they're all moving. They're all jittering and dancing and rotating. And it's like a sea of stars that are alive. And when you peer in to the lighthouse, some of them start to approach.
What? Well, at this point, I'm terrified because I know I'm not tripping. So I'm worried that something might be medically wrong with me at the moment. Like,
Go and give me another stability test.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, does Jet just see him floating there?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Javi's got the bad rolls.
Oh, baby. Okay. So this is a shock to the system. This looks like something that is impossible, that you should not be seeing, and you are terrified. You take 2 stability damage. And give me an athletics test. Okay. You managed to hang on. You're not going to fall. But you don't want to look in there anymore. It kind of is making your brain smoke.
Okay, so I guess at this point, I successfully climb back down, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. So I sort of just slowly walk my way back to the group and just sit on the floor and put my head in my hands. I don't have anything to say.
Meanwhile, Grayson is like trying to get Jet to look through a sheet of paper. Do you not see a light source up there? It's bright. How can you not see this?
I was going to mention what his perspective was like if we wanted to rewind things a bit.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
But there wasn't really a moment to break in.
Mm-hmm.
But midway through this, Jet was looking down at his phone, contemplating whether or not he had the will to call Mr. Man right now and just hash this shit out, because that's all he's thinking about still. He looks up when Sandals says something to Javier, remembering the name Javier. He's like, ah, shit, there was 4 of you, wasn't there? Where the hell did he go? I turned my back for 1 second. There's nothing. It's just the 3 of you. He just sees Sandals, Grayson, and Manifesto.
He's so adept at not saying the things he doesn't want to see.
I think at this point, Sandals is basically at the base of the lighthouse.
Mhm.
And this entire time, like basically ever since witnessing Javi's reaction, Javi climbed down, passed by Sandals without saying anything, looking like he just like saw, Cthulhu in there. Sandals is just looking up at the lighthouse with like a very direct and motivated expression of like scrutiny and curiosity. And as he's pondering it, I think he puts both of his hands on the wall of the lighthouse to feel it, and then just gets really close and puts his ear up to it to listen. Does it make any sound? Is it humming? Is it ringing? Can he hear the sound of the light moving at the top in like a Doppler wave?
Give me a sense trouble test.
All right. Oops, I almost spent Javier's sense trouble.
All right. Give me a stability test. All right, excellent. All right, so you put your ear up against the lighthouse tower. You get the hair standing up on the back of your neck, but you're just ignoring your body's warning signs that something is wrong here. You have what's going on, and as you listen,
I think it cut out.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, did you
Yeah,
guys
we can
lose
hear you.
all that?
Just a little bit.
Okay, sorry. So as you are listening to the lighthouse, you feel the fur stand up on the back of your neck, but you're ignoring your body's warning signs that something is wrong here. And straining as best you can to listen, you hear a soft voice whisper in your ear, "Hey, hey!" And at that point, you feel this innate revulsion and fear set in, and you take 2 stability damage.
So, this is something we kind of talked about before the session with Ka, but Sandals, when he is losing this stability, it is not in the form of him getting repulsed. He is sickly curious about this. So you just see a smile form on his face as he steps back from the lighthouse,
Oh no.
crosses his arms, and just goes back to thinking about whatever this is. And then he walks back to the group.
Giving you that certainty that something is going on, and that is overriding maybe some of your defensive instincts.
How's everyone else reacting to Javier and Sandals looking like total weirdos right now?
Grayson is definitely laser focused on Javi because he recognizes that kind of shocked, dazed, something's wrong look. I think he would definitely be trying to use his shrink skill to check in on Javi and see if he can snap him out of it.
Alrighty. So for every point of shrink you spend, you can restore 2 stability.
I will spend 1 point for now.
Okay. And that brings Javi back up to 11.
Okay, with a bit of reassurance, I'm able to start talking, so... Man, I don't know what the fuck I saw in there.
I don't know why it wanted me to roll, but is there a way to spend without rolling?
I think so. Javi did it. There we go.
Cool.
Oh, it
Secret
did spend one when I
dice.
rolled, so that spent 2.
Yep, let me give you that back. Okay, there you go.
Javi, what is going on? What did...
I know this isn't going to make any fucking sense, and I think I'm losing my mind, but I think there's something to what Jet was saying about this not being real, or, I mean, he doesn't see it at all. It was like the universe inside there, man. Like, there wasn't a room. I saw, like, a galaxy or something. I know it sounds fucking crazy, but I'm not making this up. This isn't a joke. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
It does sound a little far-fetched, but I mean, clearly, whatever you saw has had an impact on you. I think we should get you a little further away from this.
How's Javier doing?
Yeah, I do not resist that at all. Like, the mere suggestion of getting further from it, I just immediately stand up and kind of start walking.
Yeah, my instinct is to just start walking him back toward the actual camp tents. Out of the town, out of the puzzle.
All right. So let's see. Let's have these two head over to. You want to head to the medical tent?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can send us there, but I would be sort of more curious if everyone's well, it depends. Yeah, if you want to check on me, let me know. If we want to see what the rest of the group is doing with us kind of walking off.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the rest of you, do you want to head with the tent, or do you want to take this time to divide and conquer, to head elsewhere in the town, things out?
Well, is the medical tent next to the radio tower?
It
points
is.
that general direction. I admittedly was a little curious about that because I was looking at like spires and other things, and I'm thinking about tall features. And so, if we're heading in that direction, Manifesto is not about to abandon his little small, soft Javier fellow and his little mental break situation going on, even though his stability is twice what Manifesto's was. So he's all fair game for going in that direction. He'd be well enough to tag along.
Okay. So
Hey, thanks, Manifesto, for tagging along. This means a lot.
you head to the medical tent, and you're probably just gonna drop and then check out the tower.
Exactly.
Sure.
Okay. So let's go there first.
Are Sandals and Jet with us, or are they just having like a talk in front of the lighthouse?
Sandals is in a oddly positive mood given everything that has transpired so far in the night and how upset he was earlier. It's very clear there are gears turning in his head, but he is sort of in, I don't want to say autopilot, but it's very clear that he's writing things in his notebook, and he's thinking, and he's typing on his phone. Sandals definitely takes a picture of the lighthouse before he leaves, though. I wanted to interject this earlier, and I just didn't get a chance.
All right.
So,
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, definitely subscribe, and please consider supporting Gnollplaying games on Patreon. There is a lot of custom art that needs to be paid for to make these shows possible, and as a thank you for your support, over the next few months you'll gain access to short stories that develop the Cape Escape universe, as well as behind-the-scenes peeks at our upcoming series, Dead Laws.